So guys, now that it's January 2025, I was doing some self-reflection and I thought about where I was 3 years ago this month.
Before you do, can I just move this hair out of your way?
Sure. January 2022, I was in Austin, Texas with my brother. And I had come to a realization that I'm going to be getting divorced. And so I got really drunk and cried a lot. And I mean, I was on my knees in the hotel room crying like a 5-year-old child in the fetus position. I didn't say to God, why are you doing this to me? I stopped and I said, just give me strength. I'm going to need a lot of strength to get through this. This is going to be a really hard year. And I'm going to need guidance from the higher powers and whoever it is. And shout out to my cousin Priscilla, because she helped me a lot during that month. She was there for me a lot. Obviously, you two were there, but she was there for me a ton. And so that was, I guess you could say, the catalyst to making some self-improvements and some changes in my life. And I just want to tell you what's happened in my life 3 years ago from there. Someone told that little girl that was crying in the room there that like, this is all that's going to happen in 3 years from here. I'd be like, yeah, I don't think so.
Well, that's 3 years to the date?
To the date.
Oh,
wow. But here's what's happened in 3 years. Okay. So January, again, 2022 was Austin, Texas, bawling my eyes out. Okay. Then I came back and said, you know what? No, I need a shake up. So I convinced my brother and we went and did ayahuasca in New Hampshire. And that jolt started, it shook something.
How long after Austin, Texas did you guys
1 month,
go to?
February.
1 month later, you guys went and did ayahuasca?
Yeah.
You both didn't mess around.
No, I wasn't messing around because I think I made peace with like, okay.
It's over.
It's over. It's done.
Okay.
So then I came back in March, sold my house and moved into an apartment all by myself. And I know to our American audience, I'm like, that's fine. We've been living on our own since we're 18. Not Indian people. We don't live on our own. And so I was like, oh, I am by myself all alone in this apartment. It was good for me. I needed some solitude, some time for reflection. But that time started getting me thinking about, we should do a podcast. And you guys, we all talked about it before, but we were like, yeah, no, we should do a podcast. And we threw it around the buzzword here and there and didn't do anything about it. Fast forward to September 2022. Okay. I was at the Lewis House event and we were in the middle of a meditation. And I God, universe, whatever you want to say, gave me this little big, like download. You must start the podcast. I was like, who was that? Okay. So I texted these two. Game on. The podcast is going. We're doing it. Let's effing go. That line that,
Brady says.
Yeah. So came back. And then at that same time, by the way, I also started a job in sports and entertainment. So sports and entertainment is typically a man's field and I'm in tech and sports entertainment. I didn't really realize what I was getting myself into. Like I didn't, but I was like, let's just go chaos. Let's just go crazy. So I got a job in sports entertainment. And what I want to tell people is, especially women, I got to see the Seahawks Stadium in its full capacity. I saw the Golden State Warriors, Portland Timbers, Utah Jazz, LA Dodgers, like you name it, Crypto Arena. I went and saw all these super cool events and places that I would have never dreamt that I could do. Yeah, and awesome. I was like, wow, I'm here at these places. This is mind blowing. And so then we come back down to, so September 22nd, 2022. We decided we're going to start doing the podcast. We started doing the logo. Alvin launched.
Keep in mind, decided you kind of pushed and forced us and voluntold us. And then we were also all in the same headspace. Right? We're all at that point in life where we're just like, there's got to be some more to this shit.
And then January 1st, 2023, the podcast was born. The 12 months in the womb, and it came out into the world in January. And I had to learn how to create content. That was something I had never done before. So I had to learn how to edit and start learning how to create these little, small reels that you see on social media. And then in 2022, sorry, I should go back one. I bought my own house. Go, fuck this renting. I ain't got rent no more. I'm not paying your mortgage. I'll pay my own goddamn mortgage. And I went and bought a house myself. And it was a scary thing to do because it's a very big responsibility. And I was like, okay, worst case, I'll rent it out if I can't afford it, but I want to get my foot back in the game. I want to get back in the game. So I bought my own place and I was really proud of myself for making that big decision. And then in 2024, I went and got my MBA and I got my PMP. And now it is January 2025. I don't know what I'm going to do this year, but the reason I'm sharing this with everyone is because I just want, if you're in a dark place right now, or if you're feeling like, holy, like my life just exploded, you're going to be okay. I'm living proof that you're going to be okay. And you just have to believe in yourself, and you got to surround yourself with positive people who will build you back up and tell you that you're worth something and you can turn this around. So happy New Year to you guys.
Happy New Year to you, Rose.
Yeah, well done.
I really want to say Rose's nickname.
Round of applause.
I'm just going to say it on the podcast because everybody is going to get to know her personality. Well done, Roddy.
Right, yeah.
Well done, Roddy. Well done.
That's her nickname. Roddy, we call
Once you're ready for it, we'll release that picture side by side of who wore it best.
Let's be real. We all got nicknames. But Rose, before I quickly do our introduction, I'm just staring as you were telling that story. I was listening to Big Sister. Of course, you get emotional, right? Because you're a piece of. I have a piece of your heart with me. But there's a quote here, and we'll probably do a behind the scenes one day of some of the quotes that we have here on our chalkboard wall. But there's one here right now from Nelson Mandela that I love, and I think it just ties into the story. It says, "Do not judge me by my successes. Judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again."
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you, I've fallen a lot, and I'm probably still going to continue falling, but it's all right because I will get back up.
Good for you. And that's the most important thing.
Guys.
Yeah, that is the most important
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that is the most important thing. Just want to welcome everyone. If you're just tuning into our channel right now, if you're new to our channel, it is a tribe called Dhillon. I'm going to say show because we are transforming and evolving, and that's what today's episode is all about. So welcome back to a tribe called Dhillon show. I was about to say welcome back to a tribe called Dhillon podcast. I'm Angie Dhillon. This is my sister Rose, and this is my brother Alvin. And we are all just talking about New Year vibes. It is year 3 of our podcast/show. We're going to be evolving evolving our platform with some different stuff. And that's what today's episode is all about. Al, you want to talk about anything? You want to highlight anything that happened for you?
Well, I was just going to say that I think this is the only thing ever in my life that I've consistently stuck with for this long. And I said, we all reached that point where we're like, this is getting so hard. Like it's tough with a full-time job, ready to give up like every other week. And then I was like, I don't know if we can do this. We put so much work and effort into this, and it's like, just feels like it's going to be thrown away. And considering that we've got like such great response, I was like, what can we do? Because we all also have our other passions. Like we want to continue the channel, but we want to do what highlights us. Like I like to do funny stuff. So we all want to have time to shoot other funny skits. And we're like, what are we going to do? And I was like, we got to make some adjustments, but we can't stop. That is the end. That is the main thing, is that we can't stop the channel. We can't stop producing because we do like it. It's just, we have to maybe fine tune, rejig, pivot, and just kind of optimize and streamline things and say, hey, how can we do this a little better in 2025? But I'm excited for 2025. Like
me too.
I'm not gonna lie. Until we got that plaque, I thought this whole thing was fake. I was like, I don't know what was going on, what we're doing. All those followers, or they're fake. I was like, this is not real. I was like, if YouTube verifies us and says that this is real, then I will believe it. And then that thing came in the mail, and I was like, it's still setting in. I was like, this is real.
Yeah,
this is real.
Especially
the letter
feedback
from
in the comments, and I was like, damn. I was like, I think it's like because we didn't believe in ourselves. We're just learning to believe in ourselves, that we're still like, oh, like we are doing a good thing. Okay, this is interesting. So it's like it's still like we're learning. I feel like we're just like, it's learning constantly. That we're like, hey, okay, what's working? What's not working? Okay, this is working. Like, let's try this. Like, it's cool. It's like, and I'm glad that we're doing it with each other because I know that I trust you guys to have my back. Because when this thing blows up, y'all better never screw me. Nobody here better screw me. I'm gonna make sure I get to the lawyer to look over all the paperwork.
I think the other reason that, we started this journey, and this is, us reminiscing a bit, is we are a culture, and I think the three of us is we really want to learn and transform and better ourselves. And I don't know what it is with society. And I'm also, like I say, a bit of a dinosaur. I'm from a different era. But it just seems like what I was seeing on social content, and the three of us, I didn't have a social media content. I think I had something, then I changed my handle, kept changing it. I wanted to do something. I just didn't know what. But I just think right now it's a know-it-all culture. Everybody thinks they know what they're doing. And I don't think any of us really know what we're doing. But, I just think when I see people fall and the demise of people and the cockiness and the darkness of, and everyone says it's social media, social media, ever since social media came into play, there's a lot of darkness going on. Here's what I want to tell everybody here. It's not just social media, because social media has some benefits, right? It actually has brought the world closer together. We wouldn't know about the Ukraine war or any of that stuff stuff, if images were not being sent to us instantaneously, through shares and through other people sending information, there are benefits. But it's up to us as a society to figure out what kinds of people do we want to follow on social media. So that's us. If you're going to follow dark stuff, you're eventually going to fall into that dark trap. But if you want to follow positivity, and what we're starting to realize is positivity takes such a long time to gain followers. Like we started off 3 years ago, and it was like year 2, we started seeing some traction because people don't want to be positive. We just want to complain. I'm guilty of that. But the podcast has given me a voice now to just say there's something bigger. And honestly, the three of us were always talking about change and stuff. And I'm like, let's just do it. Why? Because it only takes 1 or 2 people to start being the change makers in the world and to start changing a different narrative and to not be programmed by society's way that when you hit 35, you have to do this and this and this. And when you hit 50, you have to be here, Like who makes up these rules for us? And that's why I was like, I've lived my life, my entire life on my own merit, on my own, what I think I'm capable of doing and what I want to do. And I'm not going to lie, like so many people still question my actions, my behaviors, and my decisions about life. I don't give a shit. I'm freaking happy. That's all that matters. So that's what I want you to know is when you tune into us, you're tuning into learning, you're tuning into growing, and you're tuning into transforming your life and being a better human being. And let's all just strive for that. That's my rant.
It's like, I feel like as we're doing it ourselves, then I'm understanding the power of the channel to be like, hey, like we're really just saying like, stand in your own truth. Like whatever you're doing, like you don't have to copy exactly what we're doing. Even us, like when we think about sometimes we're like, we should create content. We're like, no, we should create what we want to do. That's what people are going to connect with. And that's what other people should be doing. Like if I see Kevin Hart making a joke, I don't want to see another person making a similar joke. Do whatever you think is funny. It's like we learned the hard way is that just keep putting it out there. Keep putting out there what you think, what you like and what you find funny, what you want to do. And then whoever connects with it, connects with it. Like we don't need to do everything to please everybody. And a lot of people put these channels out there to please everybody.
Right.
Like we're not, like we said, we're not looking to like sell ourselves and make that $1 million just so we have the fame. Like, no, we want to like create a channel that we're proud of, that we know that like, hey, when I look back, I'm like, oh man, I didn't take my clothes off one time during that thing. There's a lot of times I almost took my clothes off.
Even though you wanted to.
Yeah, there's a lot of times, man, I almost took my clothes off.
Because one of our cousins had called me during the summertime, and she was like, yeah, so what's the point of your podcast? Like I listen to a lot of podcasts and they have a niche, one person will talk about the investment market and money and financials, and one will do, and I said, that's cool, but you should continue listening to them. I was like, we are trying to be well-rounded, all-rounded, and we're trying to figure life out. I have no clue the answers to everything. So if I would pigeonhole myself and say, I just want to talk about the 4-day work week, like I think I would get bored. Yeah. I just I know myself and our personalities is that we like to learn about all kinds of topics and complex topics, and whether it's AI or whether it's crypto or whether it's self-reflection or relationships. So like we're trying to figure it out ourselves too. So we just figured, why don't we just do it out loud? That's literally all we're
just doing. Asking questions. Like we're trying to learn too. Like we got to this age and we're like, why are we so fucking fucked up? Like, I was like, why did I look around? Like, why do I have so many fucking problems? I was like, why do I have all these addictions and I'm dealing with this shit? And then I look back, I'm like, I was given everything and not taught anything, and then just taught to be like, no, everything's done for you. And then magically you just get older. Like, okay, so why don't you not getting married? Why don't you have kids? Why don't you have responsibilities? Why don't you not have any money? Why don't you have anything? And I'm like, whoa, how did this happen overnight?
Well, and a good point, because someone said to me like, oh, so you're like a workaholic. Yeah, by the way, you remember that episode when Angie goes, I'm really proud of Rose. She's not a workaholic. That's a lie. I am still a workaholic. And let me tell you why. From the time I was 5 years old, my parents had a video store and they would take us there every weekend. And my dad would say, okay, go take the videos, put it in and press rewind. Then go put stickers on all. So we've been working since we were like children. That's all we know. And like, it's been the only consistent thing in our life that hasn't let us down. So Ange and I are going to be workaholics forever.
And working is good for you.
My whole life.
Working stimulates your mind, but in moderation. You got to learn to have some fun,
different jobs,
play,
different jobs
and work.
now.
Yeah. I was going to say to you, you should have told that individual when they're like, what is our podcast stand for? You should like go ask ChatGPT, because ChatGPT
my God, I
knows.
literally was, that's exactly what I thought about after.
And for those that don't know, and I think it's just when we started the podcast too, we were trying to find our niche.
Yep.
And then we started to realize that we like to talk about everything. And honestly, ChatGPT, when I went online, and I don't Google ourselves because, there's probably always going to be people saying negative things. I know. I learned that when I worked in radio and media 25 years ago. Haters. But we're a society and culture podcast. That's what they've labeled us under. And I actually really like that because we are talking about society and trying to change the culture and trying to improve the culture and change the narrative. So I'm happy with ChatGPT putting us into that whole and self-help and motivation.
I'm saying like before that, we just got to keep focused. I can't even worry about what other people are doing or saying. I just got to keep focusing on what I enjoy, what I like, and that's what I want to create and produce.
Right.
Yeah. Some people like it, some people
let's get into quickly because our episodes also, we just want to let you know, they're going to get shorter.
Down. Yep.
They're going to get shorter and they're going to get punchier. We are going down from now monthly, and we wanted to be transparent and we wanted to announce this because we didn't want you to wonder what happened. They started off for 2 years with 4 episodes a month, and why are they doing now bi-weekly episodes? So we're going to explain a little bit about all 3 of Irrational, but starting now in the month of January and moving forward, you're going to catch 2 episodes of our show monthly. The reason to pivot was, and I'm going to just say it out there, was we were getting tired. We were not enjoying the process anymore. We do everything ourselves in-house. We do not have a team. We work full time. We were also in school and we weren't having fun anymore. And when we started the podcast, that wasn't our intention. Like, heck, we're not making any money. But the point is we wanted to record on our schedule and, drop value-based content. But it was getting really difficult because we felt the pressure to keep lining up guests because that's what everybody else is doing out there. Finally, I'm like, it's our channel. We can do whatever we want. So we're going to be pivoting. We're still going to bring on guests. We're still going to do remote interviews. They're just not going to be as often. But you're going to, in year 3 now for 2025, you're going to see more of our personalities. We have shied away from that for the first 2 years because we are private individuals. I have not brought on, any like my partner that I'm dating and, and his life or, and I'm just trying to be a little private, but I do know that the 3 of us know that we need to bring you into our world so you understand why we talk about some of the things that we talk about. Why are they the way they are? It'll all start to make sense when you start to see a little bit more of a personal side. So the pivot to that was, and honestly, some guests just would cancel like an hour before to line up a guest, then to email them.
It's a lot of the back end and the administrative work is it's very heavy. There's a lot of it's very time consuming, and you don't realize until you're in it, and that's when you're like, oh man. But if people who stayed consistent and kept pushing through, you have a different respect for people that do that that are also working at the same time. You're like, I get it now. But we said we don't want to stop it. We don't want to throw in the towel because I was like, I don't want to win, lose, or draw. I was like, we got to keep going. We got to just fine tune something because, like I said to everybody, I kept saying, I'm going to be producing funny content. All my family members know, the skits that I produce, that's what I enjoy. But I literally don't have the time to, create that, B, even have the time to sit there and think of the ideas to create what I want to create. And I said, we all got to have to come to some understanding because a lot of people connect with them and say, hey, we want to know your hair routine. People ask you at work all the time. Right. You guys make it. We're like, you guys should make videos. So it's actually a reference material. So because most times when people ask you, they'll say, oh, thank you for telling me, but do you have a video you can show me? You can just share that video. And I'm like, we need the time to be able to create that. So by us reducing it to every 2 weeks doesn't mean that we're just like, oh no, that's what it's going to be. We're trying to now use the extra time to sit there and create more engaging stuff that we enjoy and we live our life through, and we want to record and say, okay, now we have the time to put this kind of content out there. Yeah.
And so we're just reducing our long form content to short form content. You're still going to see the 5 days a week that we tape our episodes.
And not gonna lie, the viewers that we are talking to, you guys are watching our short form content. You're not watching this episode. The people that are watching are our diehard family, friends, and whatnot. But most people are literally even watching myself. I watch my clips. I don't have nobody has the time to do it the whole episode. So that's why we're shortening as well, because the people demand. We're like, hey, at 15-20 minutes, we're good. So we'd rather watch the clips of it. So
and we also saw that I think we've got over obviously 100,000 subscribers now. I think not obviously, but we do. And same thing, to have people watch watch videos of only 1,000 views. I mean, it's not 1,000 views. I appreciate that, but it should be a higher amount. I'm thinking it should be at least like, a couple thousand. So we started to see, we get analytics on the back end, and we really started to see, okay, well, a couple episodes here and there would get into the couple thousand range. It wasn't enough for us to continue creating the long form content. We noticed the short form content. We drop like a 15, 20 second clip. Rose does a 30-second reel, and boom, we get like 600 views. We're like, we started to realize people's attention span now has changed.
And I always forget that I'm in that generation that just hit that cusp with the young generation. If you ask me, I don't watch anything beyond 15 to 20 seconds. Even if like informational stuff, I'll watch multiple units of it, but anything after even a minute or two, a couple minutes, like even Joe Rogan clips, if I don't get the highlight in the first like minute or two, I'm like, I moved on to the next clip. And then I'm like, hey, I'm that person consuming too. So we got to shorten it down to punchier, funnier stuff, 15, 20 seconds and something else.
It's just that it's information overload now.
It's just everyone's getting so much from other places. Like when they share stuff with me, I'll sometimes be like, I don't have time to look at it.
Yeah. All right. So for year 3, we're doing a pivot. Rose, what's your rationale? I know you were fighting Al and I on it because you wanted us to do at least 3 episodes a month, and we agreed to 2 episodes. So 2 bi-weekly Sunday episodes is what we're going to do.
So, and that's when I did the
bi-weekly means every 2 weeks
introspection. I said, you know what? Then this year, 2025, I'm going to show more of myself, more authentic side of Rose, of things that I struggle with, things that I'm thinking about. So me giving you the message in the very start was me showing you parts of me that I wasn't comfortable showing. So that was the way I balanced out, saying, okay, well, you know what? I may not be giving them content every week, but I'm going to give them more in-depth, heavier, value-based, something more deep for you to think about and resonate with your life. So that was where my rationale came out. Like, yeah, you know what? And I'm going to take you to the gym. Like I've committed to go to the gym in 2025, and I will take you with me.
Yeah. And I'm going to be starting HRT in the new year. You probably heard me say my hormones 2 years ago. I have spoken about perimenopause. For those of you that don't know what HRT is, it's called hormone replacement therapy. I'm 47 years old.
You look great.
Shit is changing. Women, we don't want to talk about our age. Well, I've always spoken about our age, but I just think we have to take the power back and hold on to it. And at whatever age we're struggling with something, let's talk about it. Let's elevate, motivate, inspire ourselves to be better. So you're going to see me sharing some content when I actually start the patches, how I put it on, my doctor's appointment. And I just want to bring you into a world that let's just try and be a culture that now openly shares information that's going to better somebody else. So with that said, I know that we do have a number one fan that I feel like we need to address right now. So Uncle Jim and Auntie Lisa, we love you. You are our day one. And I know that there is,
day one.
They really are. And I remember there was one day when Al was just behind on some things. And this is another reason why we're pivoting something. And Al didn't get the episode loaded. It was going to be loaded up Sunday. So one thing is Al has never missed an episode. He's been consistent in the last 2 years. They've always dropped Sunday at 6 p.m. But this particular weekend, Al was just tied up with probably the renovations. And the episode was going to be coming the next day. And Auntie Lisa texted me and said, hey, are you kids not going to be dropping an episode tomorrow? I don't see it because usually Al drops it on Saturday. And that's when I said to Rose, I said, you know what? We've got one individual right now. And this is before we had all the subscribers. You know, that individuals are now relying on us. And now we know that you're relying on content from us from week to week. So that's why we wanted to just say, Auntie Lisa, you're just going to have to see us once every 2 weeks, but you'll catch all of our episodes and our short form content every single day.
And we promise we're going to be dropping funnier shit.
We promise.
That's podcast, more like funny content. Shit that you're going to be like,
dancing. Back to dancing. The music that we grew up listening to. So you're going to just see our personalities come back, and we want to have fun. That's the most important thing is don't lose the essence. When work starts when things like this, and this is our passion project, when it was becoming stressful, we didn't want to quit because we're not quitters. We didn't want to throw in the towel. And we said, how can we still enjoy this process and get content out to folks? And how can we still motivate and like inspire folks to live their best life? Because we have to speak our truth and live our truth. So that's why we decided to do that. So we wanted to put an episode, New Year vibes. These are the New Year vibes that are going to be coming to a city near you from our city. And we just wanted to just be transparent along the way as we go and share information. Right?
Yep.
Okay, so that's a wrap. That's a wrap. Just wanted to say thank you for tuning in. It's a Tribe Called Dhillon show. Catch us next week. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.